Yo. Welcome to the No Life Gaming Show for the week of March 3rd. No, March 5th. There will be no tech show this week on Friday. Jerry is out sick, and me and him both do kind of run the tech show. So there will be no tech show on Friday, but also I'm not going to be uploading the tech shows on Friday anymore. It's going to be uploaded on Wednesday. So Tuesday, you're going to be getting this show, the gaming show, and then Wednesday, you're getting the tech show. We might actually think about doing some other tech-related show in between that time. That way, we're not stuck a week behind on news, because by the time you hear the show, we're talking about stuff that already happened a week ago, and sometimes it just gets a little bit, gets a little bit old. So trying to figure out the best times for that. Where the gaming show, I mean, we're pretty much current with it because it comes out the next day. So with that being said, make sure you head over to our website, which you can see down in the right-hand corner, nolife.digital. https://nolife.digital, digital. And then you can follow us on Twitter at No Life Digital. Make sure you're spelling it correctly. Our Instagram at No Life Digital, and make sure you follow Twitch account No Life Digital. We might be getting a new music show, which we will talk about in a little bit. And then DOOBIE is going to be uploading a D&D cast that he's doing with a couple guys that you'll see next month, I believe. So let's just bring on the co-hosts and talk about it. So the music show, we're basically just waiting on figuring out who kind of puts that together, right?
Yeah, pretty much what it is. Let me pull this back on my ear so I don't sound really loud to myself. So basically what it is me and Cassandra, we get together on Fridays and we'll do a music type show on his Twitch channel. We don't really listen to music because we want to try to avoid, copyright infringement. So basically, we pick about 4 albums at the beginning of the week or at the end of the previous show, and we'll listen to those 4 albums and we'll give our thoughts on the 4 albums. And we'll talk about new releases and stuff we're looking forward to, and just general music stuff like that. It's pretty snobby. Like he wants to call it music hole, and I wanted to call it like elitist douchebags or something like that.
Well, most music, anything is like that.
Yeah,
there's a pretentiousness to it,
to a certain degree. It's like we're great. On the last show, I said we've done 2 of them, so we're just waiting to figure out the editing and the audio scrubbing and stuff like that.
What's the Twitch account name? Do you know?
It's Matthew Cassandra.
Kocanda. Matthew Cassandra.
But
it'll be uploaded on No Life as well.
That's the intention, is to put it on No Life. But yeah, if I had to describe it, which last week I did say this, it's like a great value Anthony Fantano. If there were 2 people.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. So we get a little bit snobby, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, I don't remember what episode of No Life it was, but when I was talking about like the metal scene and how much gatekeeping goes on in that scene alone.
Dude.
It's music genre, really.
I think the 2 worst ones about that, though, is metal and hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when people start talking about, oh, that ain't real hip hop and, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think my camera is like tilted up for some reason. Let me tilt that down a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's music, but it's fun, Anytime, like, even if you were to talk about like movies and stuff, there's always a little bit of gatekeeping going on, so it's fun.
Yeah, definitely. But hopefully, like one time, if you guys wanted to, we could have like a 3rd person on there.
Yeah. I'll definitely make an appearance because I love music. I mean, I'm all about it, so I'll definitely make an appearance. It's just Friday's a little tough for me because I have that other show, so trying to find like the best time to do it. I'll be able to do it once in a while.
What time do you usually do that? Because we've been starting at around. I guess it would be 2 your time, 1 my time.
That would be perfect for me. That would be
Yeah,
perfect
that's
because I don't start till 5 p.m.
oh yeah, definitely. And we only run for like an hour. We don't run that long.
Yeah. All right, yeah, I'll definitely make an appearance.
Yeah.
Listen to mad tunes. I want to figure out a way where we can do it though with music, adding some
Yeah.
type of music because I know other shows do it. I don't know how they do it, but there's got to be a way.
That would be awesome. The only thing that I can think about right now is we could try to do like 30-second clips because isn't it like over 30 seconds is
Yeah.
copyright infringement or
Yeah, I know with YouTube though, the problem with YouTube is that like even it depends on the song and how vigilant those channels are about
yeah, we get auto
covering it.
claim.
You get the strikes.
They'll
and
just claim
everything.
it. They'll either claim it so you can't monetize on it, or they'll just tell you to mute it. They won't take your channel down though, if it's under 30 seconds. The only way they take it down is if you just pretty much rip the whole song. So it's tricky on like YouTube and on Twitch, but you know that there are other channels that do it, and they do play like little clips just so you can kind of hear the type of music because it's a big
Yeah,
part of it.
Yeah, it literally is. Like the only thing that we've been able to do so far is like when we're talking about an album, like when Cassandra will talk about his views on it first, and then I'll put like a couple of songs in the Twitch chat.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps a little bit for Twitch chat, but if we're putting it on No Life and a podcast format, like
Oh, you
afterward-
know what you can do? Because it's pretty much out. I thought I fucking turned this off. It's pretty much algorithm based. So what you can do is talk over the music and like have the music kind of low in the background, but talk over it. That way the algorithm won't pick it up. You know what I'm saying? That might be the best option. Just check that out.
I mean, we could try that.
Try it out. See if it fucks it up. If it does, well, then you know.
Try to rip it really quick before the Twitch VOD gets muted.
Yep.
Auto muted.
All right, cool. Doobie, and you're doing a D&D show podcast thing?
Yep. So I haven't played D&D in a long time. I kind of wanted to get back into it. So I talked to a few friends of ours, and it's going to be me, Rage, and Skittles. If anybody is familiar with those guys, we're going to be playing, and Verve is going to be DMing it. So I told him I wanted to do D&D. He was interested. So we're going to do a production about a couple weeks. That way we have episodes recorded in case anything happens. You guys still get content. That way we are able to upload and, have a nice schedule. We're looking at like playtime of 3 hours, probably edit it down to maybe like 2 hours with breaks and stuff to use bathroom. And I'll edit all that stuff out. So it'll be nice and concise.
So you're saying like, so how many episodes do you think there will be? Just one?
No, I think I'm not sure how many episodes. We're gonna play a campaign and see how many episodes we get out of a campaign. But we're gonna play.
Don't those usually
Saturday.
take like a pretty long time?
It depends on how long the campaign the DM wants to run. So I don't know what Verve has in mind. I'm just a player, but either way, I mean, I think at least probably 8 episodes. I'm hoping.
I mean, I'm not a player. I just fuck a lot.
like a campaign being like 24 hours, which, in some circles, like they do longer sessions of like 6 hours.
Well, I know the biggest problem that they had with it was like consistency. That's always seemed to be the thing with D&D casts.
That's why we're doing recorded episodes, and we're doing them a couple episodes before we start releasing them.
Yeah.
So we start this upcoming weekend, and those will be available in about a month's time. That way, consistency reasons, if we drop a week or we miss 2 weeks, there's still content being there. It's still a continuation of the story every week for the viewers and listeners.
I mean, if you really just wanted to, you could do like a 3-hour sessions, and you could bust those up into hour a piece, and you could do like a little mini recap before each episode.
Yeah, and because I'm editing it, I'm gonna do a forward before every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Just this is what happened last time. Caught you all up. Enjoy. Nice. I think it'd be fun, and I already have a few friends that are already said that they would give it a listen.
Previously on The Walking Dead.
Exactly.
just have you say that every time.
And then so I'm gonna
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
I'm gonna be uploading a new show pretty soon. I'm starting to put out like teasers and stuff. This show should have been out like a month ago. It's just been trying to find time to actually do it. But it's basically like entrepreneurship, content creation, and just teaching people how to basically create content and monetize it and do it for a living. And then that'll be out on my website, my personal website, waynemakesthings.com, but also on the No Life channel. And then all of the content that comes out of that, so like tutorials, tips, hacks, and stuff like that, will go up on No Life as well. So you're going to see like a little section where it's like, life hacks or something. And then that's where all that content is going to go. So we're finally starting to really flush this channel out with some more content. Hopefully get a few more people involved as well, because I do want more written content up on the site, whether it's reviews or whatever it is. That way we can really start to push it out there and get more people watching it. But we're getting there. We're definitely getting there.
Yeah, I'll have a new article.
Slow and safe.
I'll have a new article up this weekend. Looking at glitches and cheating in speedruns.
Oh, and the breakdown?
Cheating. Yes, the breakdown.
Yeah, and I should have a Deliverance review, Kingdom Come Deliverance review coming up. So you should have that. I want to get that out.
Look at all this content, baby. All this content coming your way.
Starting to focus more on it, because this stuff is just super fun to just talk about and put content together for. And the fact that like the industry is so competitive, but no one really does it in this kind of way except for big media outlets like Polygon and IGN and GameSpot. So someone doing something like that, but in a more unbiased, like there's no money involved, where pretty much can be unfiltered. There's no one really doing it like that. And I think that's kind of the niche that I want to take this channel and this website, and eventually, kind of become the Breitbart of gaming. So moving on.
Damn it.
The InfoWars of gaming. Not be as funny. And tech.
You're the Alex Jones of gaming.
We're gonna start selling those rocks you put in the corner of your room to fucking.
It'll make you a better gamer. I'm tired of all these companies putting their loot boxes in, making the gay frogs.
No.
Turn all these gamers gay, dude. Speaking of gay gamers, the Nintendo Switch turns 1 year old today.
Whoa. That segue though. That segue.
That's a hard left.
Well,
no, that was super right.
It's funny because like this is tied in really interesting for me because today when this episode gets released is actually my 1 year anniversary of my current job. So like the Switch and my current job are tied together.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Well, do you like your current job as much as you like the Switch? Probably not.
If
you can't do your current job in your bed.
Hey, the current job pays me enough to buy games for the Switch.
Yeah, but you can't do it laying in your bed. So there's
exactly. That would be the dream.
That's like the bar to judge everything for the rest of your life. But can I do it laying in bed?
Exactly.
But can I do it laying in bed? When do we reach Wally?
So the Nintendo Switch turns 1. I mean, it had one of the most insane releases, launches, I think gaming has ever seen. This thing exploded. It sold more consoles than anything we've ever seen in the first few months. It just was flying off the shelves, and there was only like 2 games at the time, which makes it even crazier. What was the first release that it came with? It was Zelda, right?
Zelda.
Yeah.
It was Zelda, which
the game of the year, which is pretty good.
And not only like Zelda, but when you factor in the first year, like, March to March, it had it had the highest rated like games for a 1 year launch.
Yeah.
Just Odyssey and Zelda alone were Metacritic wise like 94, I think, for Zelda now, and like 92 for Mario or something like that. They're ridiculously highly rated.
Yeah, I do think Nintendo gets a little bit of a there's a little bit of bias behind Nintendo for sure.
The fanboy bias.
Yeah, I do not think Super Mario Odyssey is a 99. It's a good game. It's fun. It was definitely like an ode to people who love Super Mario 64 and those 3D platformers, but I mean it's a pretty one-dimensional game. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do much of anything brand new. It kind of perfects upon its genre, but then you go again and you take Zelda, which is like a new standard in open world games, but still it didn't feel as if it was like to me. I think Witcher 3 is a better RPG. You know what I'm saying? In terms of production value, in terms of action, combat, in terms of everything. It's just far better. But because it's Zelda and because there's just so much behind the Nintendo brand and these characters, I think they get a little bit more of a nod than they deserve. And there's a controversial opinion.
The nostalgia bug.
I don't know if it's necessarily nostalgia though. I think it's more of like, I don't know.
When you
favoritism. I think it's more favoritism.
When you pump out game after game that are most, like I would say for the most part, quality content, you kind of have a reputation for quality games. So they do get the praise. It's not, I mean, I think in Zelda's history, Zelda.
How about Skyward Sword?
I like Skyward Sword. Fuck off. I love that game. I thought it's one of my favorite Zelda games. I liked it better than Twilight Princess for certain.
Is that like the cell shaded one?
No, Wind Waker.
No, Wind Waker.
Would be my favorite Zelda had more dungeons. It didn't have enough dungeons for me. But I think that game is great. And that game got critically panned when it was first unveiled because the cell shading. A lot of people didn't like that.
Oh, yeah.
They got their hands on the game and realized it was a really good game.
Yeah, Wind Waker's really good.
I still think this Zelda is the best Zelda ever made. This past one was just so
that's
great.
The fun thing with Zelda is.
But I haven't played Wind Waker.
Argument, and you can make the argument for almost all of the titles that they're the best Zelda because
except the ones that were on CD.
Don't play the CDI games. They're not Zelda. The Wand of Chameleon, please. No, I think it's awful.
Oh, what else was there? There was Zelda. There was Mario. We can't forget about ARMS.
Rocket League made its launch on the Switch, even though that's like a game that was out for a long time.
Well, I'm saying like Nintendo exclusive games.
Nintendo exclusive, you had Mario Rabbids Kingdom, which was
Mario
really
Rabbids.
Weird, but really good.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting addition to the Nintendo lineup. But that was it, right? I can't remember.
There was Fire Emblem Warriors, which was I liked it. It was a fun beat 'em up. It was Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
First party content. You had Xenoblade.
Yeah,
that's right. Xenoblade.
I loved that game. That game was amazing.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
If it wasn't for Persona 5, that would have been my favorite RPG of 2017.
Yeah, it definitely. They need to put Persona on the Switch, but it definitely was an awesome launch for a console. Granted, there was only a few titles, but I think what saves the Switch is the fact that it had Rocket League on there, that it had Splatoon 2, which I still play.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Splatoon 2.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 is so much fun. ARMS, I want to forget about ARMS.
They dropped the ball on that one.
I don't know what they were trying to do with ARMS. You know,
they were trying to make a new Splatoon, and
yeah, but didn't they play it? You know what I'm saying? Didn't someone play that game and say, "Dude, this game is not fun"?
Somebody also played. Well, that's the thing is somebody also played No Man's Sky.
That's true. Somebody thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, so the Switch definitely it's got a lot to live for. It's definitely for me like what I love about it are those third-party indie titles, and then having these like really big exclusives come out and they're real high quality. That just is the cherry on top. It's it's cheap, man. Like the console's cheap, the games are cheap. This is a fucking dope console.
It already outsold the Wii U. The Wii U lifetime sales. It surpassed before its 1-year anniversary, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my real main concern is we're sitting at right now March, the 1-year anniversary. And as far as games coming out this year that we know, there's the Yoshi game, which is not gonna it might sell well, but I don't think it's gonna be that huge of a seller. Kirby comes out, I think, 2 weeks
soon, yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a great couch co-op game, but Kirby is not gonna be a huge seller
Right.
like a Zelda or Mario. I'm wondering
Neither of those games are.
When is Pokemon? When is Metroid? When is Bayonetta 3?
At the 2019, it's what it's looking
That's
like,
the
right?
thing. I'm
When
afraid.
is Shin
I'm
Megami
kind of
Tensei?
afraid.
I
What's
think
up?
that's this year. I think they were talking about
Chip
that.
SMT?
I know it's on
SMT
PS2, right? It's coming or PS2.
No, Shin Megami
PS4.
Tensei 5 is a Switch exclusive.
Oh, okay.
The SMT franchise from Atlas has generally since the last one to be released on a non-Nintendo platform was Nocturne, which was SMT3,
PS3,
which is
PS2.
one of the hardest games of all time.
Yeah.
And it's a masterpiece of the SMT franchise. But 4 and 4 Apocalypse came out on the 3DS, and they were really good. So I'm excited for 5. And they're saying they're trying to make it like super hard. So if they can hit Nocturne levels of hard, I'm in.
Yeah.
But there's not really like a guesstimate. I don't know. I feel like that's 2019 right now.
Well, that's what you're saying. It's like this year is going to be pretty stagnant for Nintendo. So
and that's what I'm afraid of.
They need to start paying these indie developers and get them on the Switch. Get Dead Cells on there. That is going to sell like crazy. That game is so fucking great. It's
definitely going to need the indies this year for certain. I do know that Project Octopath Traveler, which I kind of hope is actually the name at this point, from Square Enix. I got the chance to play the demo a couple months back, and I really liked it. There's rumors that it's going to have a summer release, and I think that will scratch the itch for a lot of the RPG fans, especially coming from Square. And it's definitely a callback to that like Bravely Default, which did really well on 3DS platforms. So,
well, imagine if they released like a Pokemon right now, like a March like blockbuster Nintendo hit. Then it would be controlling the news cycle, the gaming news cycle for another year, you know, because then they could release something in fall, kind of like what they did with Zelda and Mario, and just do that every year.
Pokemon is generally a fall release. If you go back and look at the history of Pokemon, it's generally a October, like a late September, sometime in October, maybe as late as early November release.
Didn't they just release a new Nintendo, or I mean a new Pokemon, like
they
Moon
did
Sun or some
like
shit?
the not the 3rd edition, but kind of like the revamped version of Sun and Moon.
And that's for what, the DS?
The 3DS, yeah.
Stop with the fucking 3DS. Just tell them to stop making games for
the
that.
3DS is done. We have a new Fire Emblem to look forward to. I have a feeling a lot of these games, we're gonna get a lot of info at E3 from Nintendo.
I don't know, Nintendo.
But
when do they ever have a good E3?
When that Pokemon drops, Switches are be flying off the shelves even more.
I don't know. I mean, it's already sold. Everyone pretty much already has one now, except some of you guys. But you guys will be, what are you guys waiting for? Are you waiting for Stardew Valley?
I'm waiting for more RPGs.
Yeah.
Because
you're waiting for Shin Megami Tensei and you're waiting for Octopath Traveler.
I'm waiting for RPGs. Like if there's more RPGs on the system, I'll pick it up.
And it's perfect for that. It's perfect for that genre.
Bayonetta 3, I'm waiting for that too.
Oh yeah. I am definitely looking forward to Bayo 3.
Should I get Bayonetta 2 on the Switch? I haven't gotten it yet.
Yes.
Yeah, it comes with, if you can get the 1 and 2 combo, get that. Play both of them. They're great games.
Maybe I'll just get the first one or the second one. I'm saying.
I mean, you don't really need to know the story. I mean, it is a continuation of the first game story. It has like callbacks and stuff like that. It's cool. But I mean, it's a stylish action game. Like you don't have to have, you don't have to have context. The story isn't really that big of a deal whatsoever.
I just say get the first one because on this, like, when they released it on the Wii U and the Switch as well.
Yeah, they had unique
costumes.
Oh, also another thing that I'm wondering about with the Nintendo Switch is battery life. Like the battery that's in there is just a normal. I think it's like a 70 watt-hour, 60 watt-hour battery. But those things last like a year, and it's about that time. And I play mine exclusively handheld. And when you're playing a handheld, throwing it on the dock, playing a handheld, throwing it on the dock, you're going to hurt that battery. So I'm waiting for that surge where people are like, my Switch only lasts a couple hours before because it only lasts a couple hours now. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't.
My Switch
I
only
wouldn't be
lasts 45
surprised-
minutes before it dies, and then
I
you're gonna
wouldn't
have
be
that problem.
surprised if Nintendo starts releasing more peripherals, and they've already said that they want to focus on peripherals instead of like revamping the design. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of those is like a USB-C power bank you can plug in.
If they're gonna need something, or like an iFixit kit to like switch your battery out, because it's not difficult. It's just they're gonna need to do something. Anytime you introduce, like, it's not a DS, it's got an NVIDIA Tegra chip in there, which is pretty powerful, and it's gonna kill that battery. You know,
Dude, the
where
3DS
DS,
doesn't even have that great of a battery life either.
Yeah,
I bet. And then if you open it up right now, I bet it probably voids the warranty.
Oh,
so they're
of
gonna
course
have
it
to.
does.
yeah.
Well, I bet you what they're gonna do is they're probably gonna make you ship it into them.
Ship it in, yeah.
Yep.
Or then they just ship you a new one or a refurbished one.
And with no cloud saves, if you ship it to them and they somehow delete your save data, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's another thing. The online this year when they do it in the fall, which is the date right now that they're saying, which
I'm
they've
giving
been
up
pushing
on
it back.
Nintendo
It
Online.
has to have cloud saves. It has to have cloud saves.
It's not going
it
to.
doesn't,
I've given up
they're
on it. It's not
wrong.
gonna have party chat. It's just trash. But that's okay. Fix the battery. All right, moving on. Monster Hunter Worlds is Capcom's best-selling game in its history, which is not very surprising considering this game did exceptionally well.
That's that. I mean, it is really like. It is really saying a lot too, because they've had some pretty big games like, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 4. Yeah.
This game is just
Dead Rising.
This game just had more of a, I don't know, it just had more to it, you know what I'm saying? Like there was just something else about its release that, like, when people saw it, I think the Monster Hunter crowd kind of helped sell the game for everyone, because like your excitement for it kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna check this game out. After playing the DS version, I was like, how the hell is anyone play this fucking series?
The graphical upgrade of switching to the PlayStation 4 and definitely the PS4 Pro, as well as the install base of the PlayStation 4 in both the West and Japan, like that's a huge install base.
Yeah.
So there's the option for a ton of sales. And then wait until it hits PC as well. It's supposed to hit PC, right?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the mod support on that.
Yeah, it'll hit a surge. I need to play some more of it. Still, I still need to play more of it. Like
I get to pick it up again.
Like I'll spend like 300 hours on one character, and then I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna make another character.
Yeah.
There's really no reason to ever make another character in a Monster Hunter game, but
that's kind of like what I do with Witcher 3. I'll just play it for 100 hours and then I'll just start over for some reason.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though. Monster Hunter, man, it's out there. Here's some sad news. Former GameStop CEO J. Paul Raines, he has passed away due to complications with his cancer. The world's largest gaming retailer confirmed the passing, and Mike Mahler, who stepped in to the CEO role in February, issued the following statement. We are profoundly sad to learn of the passing of our friend and former CEO, J. Paul Raines. His spirit is woven into the fabric of our company, and the entire GameStop family mourns this loss. Paul was a brilliant man and a remarkable visionary, as well as a compassionate, caring, and inspirational community leader. Who was beloved by many. Paul cared deeply about his work and his GameStop family, but his greatest love was for his family. Our heartfelt sympathies go out to them and those whose lives and hearts Paul touched during his journey. Rayner oversaw GameSpot as CEO since June 2010. In November, he took medical leave due to a relapse of the cancer that he first dealt with in 2014. That leave turned into a permanent resignation in February when he officially stepped down from GameSpot's board of directors. At that time, GameSpot said that Raines wanted to focus on his health and family. Doctors probably like, look, dude, you don't got much time. Just spend it with your family. And he passed away, man. And unfortunately for him, 2010 to 2014, when he got that relapse of his cancer, that was like GameSpot's worst years. They were really hurting Remember, they almost went out of business. Right now, they're dealing
Are you
with a
saying,
lot.
Are you saying GameSpot or GameStop?
I mean, GameStop. That's what I meant. GameStop.
And I don't want to be that guy. And I don't get me wrong. I feel bad. Like that sucks that he died. But GameStop is not that far behind him. They're dying.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna be able to do. What can they do? The only thing keeping them alive is the trading system that a bunch of junkies go in so they can fucking go buy drugs after they steal someone's video games.
I was about to say my heartless remark was going to be, are you sure his greatest love was for his family and not for ripping off 13-year-old kids right in their
Listen, there's a reason why in Smash Brothers when you both hit each other and one of you dies, they call that the GameStop trade. Yeah. Somebody didn't win that one.
I mean, I don't understand what games. I understand it. I don't know how they're gonna be able to get out of this. No one wants to buy physical copies anymore, unless they can turn into like a small niche company next to Doobie's house. I don't know if they're gonna survive.
But that's the thing is, even the physical purchases you can pretty much get on Amazon. And my friend, a lot of the times their games don't only come in launch day; they sometimes come in
early.
So yeah, and then you also have the deals with Prime where you actually save money on the game as well. You get free shipping.
Yeah,
it's the brick and mortar stores in general are dying, but the game stores, like at this point, like you go into GameStop, they've got games, but they've also got a ton of other stuff that isn't even gaming related, like Funko Pops and fucking T-shirts and
that's what I'm saying.
Banners.
That's what they need to do. That's what they need to do. They need to focus on like that weird niche culture. Have like a game section where maybe they sell like old kind of, old hardware, old game systems, along with some of the new titles. Like you can go in and get a new title, but they're not stocking their shelves with like 30, 40 of them at a time. They're stocking with like 10, 20. Don't stop carrying all of these budget bin items and filling your shelves with them. No one's buying them. Still keep the trading system.
Yeah, I was about to say, sometimes when I walk into GameStop, I don't know if I'm in GameStop or if I'm in like Spencer's or fucking Hot
But that's
Topic.
what they need to do. I mean, like, there's no way they can keep this going if they're only going to focus on gaming. They need to incorporate other industries.
That's the thing. They have too many locations to keep that up. So what they're going to have to do is like probably cut a lot of the locations out. Like the ones that are too close to each other, one of those stores is going to have to close and revamp what they carry and start maybe.
Or they can carry PC. They can carry PC gaming stuff, like what Micro Center kind of does. They have the money. Start ordering like PC gaming peripherals, mice, monitors. Awesome like mechanical keyboards. Just like they need to stop with the only console gaming bullshit. Stop with the Funko World bullshit. And like really look at what kind of market you want to segment yourself as. Do you want to be that kind of top tier hardware company that also sells some software, or do you want to be like a fucking Spencer's? And Spencer's has gone out of business. There's no more Spencer's.
They've spent so much.
Or you want to be like Spencer's and sell bottles of liquid ass and fart spray and fake poop.
They spent so much money on like the whole pre-order bonus bullshit. Like, oh, you pre-order with GameStop, you get like the GameStop exclusive skin.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, that skin ain't worth shit.
No one. It's a dying business model. They need to really rethink about what they're doing. And unfortunately, the guy who kind of was taking the helm, like he had a sinking ship, and then he kind of got cancer on top of that. I mean, pretty rough times for Paul J. Raines. But this new CEO, I don't know. You're gonna have to figure something out because your company is. I give them another year before they start saying, okay, we're gonna have to start closing shops everywhere. We're gonna have to.
You knew it was bad when they got into the phone business.
Well, I saw there's a GameStop like in this mini mart in Bumblefuck, Philadelphia somewhere. And like there's no point for this store to be here. No one goes to this store. Put it in Center City. If you don't have the rent for it, then get rid of it. That's
why the one on South Street got shut down.
Yeah, the one right next to my house. I was actually upset about that.
Because the business was dead.
Yep. And there are always people in there. Every time I've been in a GameStop, there's been people in there, but it's usually junkies trading in shit that they stole from their cousins. for $3 for a new fucking new Call of Duty game, and then they flip
mean,
it around for $50. But that's what you got to do if you're gonna keep that model. You know what I'm
not to
saying?
mention they don't treat their employees that great. Remember a couple months ago, or maybe a year ago, and the whole Circle of Life crap happened.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
What
there was a
happened?
whole thing where like
We probably talked about it.
yeah, like the managers had their employees, and like everybody has their own set of like numbers they have to hit for like pre-orders, trade-in, stuff like that. And there was all this pressure, and people would get fired for not meeting.
Dude,
like,
that is that old 2000s marketing strategy that just does not work in modern age. When you're dealing with internet, you're dealing with social media, that's done. Like when you see those companies who have those quotas like that, that's not how you run a company. That's how you have a very high turnover rate of employees. That's where you're gonna have to you're gonna claim losses all the time. And it's sad that it happens in an industry like gaming, but it's just like a tech industry, man. You got to keep shit moving. You got to keep innovating. Maybe come out with like an Amazon. Get rid of all your brick and mortar stores and just do an Amazon thing, and then you can partner up with gaming companies to try to do certain type of deals. At least you'll have some type of overhead, Yep. All right, moving on. Oh, this is big news. Trump will meet with video game industry leaders on March 8th, which is in a couple days from the time we're filming this. The topic on the table: how violent video games contribute to real-life violence in the U.S. After a little bit of back and forth, it appears the White House meeting with the video game industry is on. At today's press briefing, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders confirmed that a meeting will take place this Thursday, March 8th. Separately, the Entertainment Software Association, which has many of the top software publishers as members, confirmed that it would be participating in the meeting. I heard that they weren't, actually. I heard that they're backing out. Let me double check on that. But I
mean, either way, this topic has been held for since
it's the 90s.
Columbine. It's literally Columbine.
It was Columbine, and wasn't it like Newt Gingrich that was fucking big on it?
It was Jack Thompson.
Oh,
yeah, Jack Thompson.
The dumbass Florida attorney who, by the way, was disbarred by the Florida attorney board.
Well, it was Hillary Clinton too. Hillary Clinton was kind of in those talks as well back when she created the ratings board.
Yeah, and they want to say, these games, like maybe we should have a rating system. We do have a rating system. Yeah. Don't blame parents who don't do the research when they go in with their 16-year-old and 15-year-old and go, yeah, I want to buy a Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, by the way, the ESA is they are going to be meeting with him. I mean, we know that video games does not incite violence in anyone. It's a false equivalency.
It's easier to blame video games than it is to bring up the topic of gun control.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you're gonna have a scapegoat.
Now, now the debate will be. I understand the debate. Like, if there's a VR simulator where your main objective is to kill civilians and it's extremely real, it's extremely graphic, you're put into scenarios that we just haven't seen in modern times yet, then that debate has a little bit more credence to it. But if you're talking about Call of Duty, if you're talking about Mortal Kombat, no, it just doesn't incite violence. It's just like a movie. It's just like an album, It's entertainment. Sure, it's more of a
adult.
Causation.
More adult and raw.
What is it? Causation is not equal correlation.
Yeah.
Like, just because somebody goes on a rampage that played video games and watched movies, that doesn't mean that those were the reasons why.
Everyone who plays video games and watches movies.
Yeah, people are going to kill somebody. They're going to go and kill somebody. The games did not make them.
Right.
The games did not encourage them. The games did not teach them.
And they're not playing them because they want to kill people. They're playing them because everyone plays games. Everyone wants a certain type of entertainment. So you can't put those two together. And I'm sure the ESA will say something like that. I want to know exactly what Trump is going to be discussing. I don't think he believes that video games really cause for violence, but his base recently has been stating that it does, and I was very surprised by this. Like a lot of people on the alt-right are saying, yeah, we need to get back to family values. We need to stop with all the violence in the video games and in rap music, and it's just like, that alt-right movement has moved further and further away from the real conservative movement.
They want to talk about family values, but don't want to bring the issues to where it matters most, which is the division in the family. They want to do that. No, let's blame the video games, let's blame the movies, let's blame the music, but let's not blame the parenting, let's not blame, the house, let's not blame the infrastructure that, breaks the house. No, that's not the problem. It's the outside stuff.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
Like I said, though, I do think that debate is interesting when we get more into VR. Like, do you think that something like that could incite violence? If there's an adult, if Grand Theft Auto 5 was in like a true to life 1-to-1 VR situation, that's a lot harder to defend. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying,
especially when you start to put in mods, and then you can put on other people's faces, and you can make Trump as like your enemy. You know what I'm saying? And I think there is where that debate has a little bit more credence. What do you guys think?
Until the VR can fully simulate how to take apart a gun, put apart a gun, reload, until it teaches you the ins and outs of the workings of all the guns, how to plan an assassination, until it teaches you all those things, then I don't buy into it.
Honestly, I still believe that it's just the individual. Yeah, I believe that it's just the individual, because I don't know, like, literally, in my opinion, if you are so extremely, I don't know, if you feel like you're extremely easily susceptible, but that was weird. If you're susceptible to stuff like that, like, I believe that's on your character. Yeah. Like, you don't have mental fortitude.
Right.
And to be honest with you, like, to blame it on video games is just dumb. I don't know.
The time spent on this whole debate, on this whole argument, is better spent dealing with mental health.
Yeah, agreed.
It's in this country.
How do you deal with mental health? Also, you
treat it as a disease.
Yeah, but what is that? The problem with mental health is that people who are unhealthy mentally don't know it. So they're not going to go seek treatment. The families these days, I don't know. I feel like mental health is a difficult topic to kind of.
It is kind of difficult, but you could also raise more awareness so people could be able to see more signs in other people.
Yeah, you definitely need to outreach to people more. There definitely needs to be more initiative.
I think that we're overprescribing antidepressants, because it seems to be that all these mass murderers are on all these antidepressants. They're on Zoloft, Paxil, all this stuff, and I think that causes a lot of it as well. We're in a sticky situation. It's not video games. It's not movies. It's not music. It never has been. Over the years, has video games and media gotten increasingly violent? Maybe there's a debate there, but I don't think that turns into more. I mean, we're in the safest period of history ever. There hasn't been less murders, period. Crime in history has never been this low. And maybe the violence and the stuff has gone up in terms of the content we consume, and that just goes to prove that there's no correlation there.
I mean, the media, like, in general, always needs to have a story. So we like to think that all of this crime is happening, all of this, everything's unsafe, because we're being fed that on a daily basis, because they need to show something. So when they highlight only the negative, we start to believe that only negative is there.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Battlefield 5 details are going back to World War II. I'm just going to play a little bit of the trailer here. I don't think this is the trailer. That's just people talking about the trailer. Okay, so I don't know. Who gives a crap? I don't know why it's such a big deal. Oh, they're going back to World War II. They're going back to World War I.
I mean, it's following the Call of Duty, where they went back to World War II, and a lot of people were receptive to that.
Well, Battlefield 1 was, but yeah.
I don't get it. It's like we're going back to World War II. It's like, you're not going back to it. You were just at World War I. So you're going
forward.
The
next logical step.
Yeah, I mean, the
Stupid.
people prove that they don't want they don't want futuristic crap from
Yeah,
Battlefield and from
pretty-
Call of Duty. They leave that to Halo, leave
Pretty
that to
much.
science fiction.
No, but then you see how, Destiny sells. You see how Rainbow Six Siege sells. There's just two different types of people that want two different types of games. I think, like, pretty soon people are going to be like, why do we have all these World War II games, all these World War I games? We want more future
Again,
shit.
you guys remember when this happened, like, last time? Like,
Yeah, when
there's
Call of
just
Duty 2 was released in Medal of
Medal
Honor
of Honor.
series.
Yeah, there's just an oversaturation. I believe that just
I want to see a Vietnam. That's what I want to see.
as our culture in general, or our country in general, like we probably our culture too, we romanticize like World War II.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of just like I don't know, like
I mean, it was the last
we're
war.
the best
we
at
were
that
good
point, and we just keep reliving it over and over again. Not only that, but like you said, it does have to do with boots on the ground. Like people just get tired of I'm gonna go on a kill streak and call in a Moab, or I'm gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to see more Vietnam, and I want to see more like Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan.
Man. What if we had some like realistic Vietnam? Like one of the missions, you got to like burn down a village,
burn down a couple,
throw a grenade to a school,
Vietnamese babies.
Yeah, like you open up like a little thatch roof thing, and it's just like a family of 3 hiding down there in the hole, and you just drop a grenade and shut the thatch. You know what I mean?
And then at the end, you still lose the war. At the end,
you still lose the war.
I think this is why they haven't made a lot of Vietnam games.
Yeah, it's because we lost it.
Yeah, because we lost it and committed a ton of atrocious acts.
It's probably it's probably the worst war that the U.S. has ever intervened in. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, all because of democracy.
Yeah.
Battlefield 5 will have loot boxes.
Yep.
Probably.
I mean,
they all have loot boxes now.
That's a thing now. So who cares? Who cares about it? I'm definitely gonna check it out. Battlefield series is one of my favorites. So.
I'm not.
Yeah, we know. Okay.
Surprise!
Get back
surprise,
to your Monster Hunter. So Far Cry 5 gets a live-action short movie on Amazon Prime. Vloggers go into the woods and get more than they bargained for again.
This is like a found horror thing.
Is it free though? If it's free, I'll watch it.
Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, then it.
Yeah. Then yeah, I can watch it.
I will say that Far Cry 5. I'm not sure I'm going to pick it up yet, but it's definitely selling me on its setting because I really like religious zealots.
I'm 100% picking it up. I think the story about it is cool. I like Far Cry. I never really was like in love with Far Cry, but I like it enough. I think they do story awesome. Like the last one, not Primal, but the one before that, where you're in the jungle. Dude, they had some excellent acting in it, and it was just a really cool story. So I have no problem spending $60 and trying this story out, especially now that it's like hitting home. I think that's pretty cool.
Hitting America, religious zealots. Like, there's a reason why the game may not have been the greatest and the ending sucked, but BioShock Infinite was one of my favorites because it was based on like very America and religious zealot, and that's what this is like, giving me those vibes.
Mm-hmm. And it's done in like an open world way, which is pretty cool. PUBG. Oop, this is the wrong news story. PUBG is now partnered with Tencent's Pony Ma Huang Tang, which is kind of interesting. So we know that they were doing like that mobile game. Tencent is pretty big on like MOBA style games and
Tencent is huge in general. Yeah. They own League of Legends.
Tencent is the Steam of China, but even bigger.
Yeah, China's huge. I mean, the guy, they're doing good. And partnering with PUBG is a super smart move. Super smart. Problem is that China fucking cheats all the goddamn time.
Just don't let Dr. Disrespect near them. That's all. He'll go on a tirade.
So if you've been playing PUBG and you've been waiting for PUBG to ban a region lock China, this just goes to show you that is never going to happen. And dealing with cheating is going to be the demise of this game. There you go. There's my thoughts.
It's the demise of most online games.
It's been getting a little better, but
Counter-Strike.
It's like when you're down to the top 10 and there's 4 or 5 cheaters, there's no way you're winning. What's
Fortnite.
The whole point is to get to the end.
Wall hacks.
Just get on Xbox 360, play at 11 frames per second, and then you might have a chance. Then you might have a chance. Nintendo eShop gets cult favorites you might have missed. And I want to talk about this because I want to know what games you guys recommend to me if you've played some of them, because I feel like you guys have played more indie titles than I have. Okay, so here we go. Mulaka. Anyone play that? Scribblenauts? Subsurface Circular?
Scribblenauts, it's a cute franchise.
Don't like the word cute.
Game.
Don't like the word cute.
Yeah.
Not gonna play it. It's a bubble game?
It's a mobile game.
Oh, a mobile game? Yeah.
It was on 3DS, I think, too.
Yeah, unlimited.
One of them. I don't remember.
Subsurface Circular? I've never heard of that. No? Okay, moving on. Normal Lost Phone, Neo Geo Sengoku 2, Air Hockey. Let's find some ones that might be. Detention, Fear Effect, Sedna,
I will say Fear
Gridmania.
Effect I believe that's the launch date for it. It's a reboot of the Fear Effect franchise.
Oh, it is?
It's not. It's a reboot. And it's done in a new style. I'm intrigued.
Isometric.
I'm definitely interested in checking it out because I really liked Fear Effect on the PS1.
Yeah.
It's like
I
an
would definitely check
isometric
that out.
game. Gridmania, Guilt Battle Arena, Little Triangle, North, Outlast, Paper Wars.
Outlast.
Pocket
Outlast is
Queen.
good.
Outlast is good?
Yeah, Outlast is a really
Isn't that like a
good,
scary
fun
game?
horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Totally worth buying though.
And then
I think it's
there's
fun.
Totes the Goat, I don't know. I'm probably
Totes
not gonna,
the goat.
Totes
I'm
the
not
Goat?
gonna check
That's
out
just-
any of these.
That sounds like shovelware. Is what that
You're
sounds
like,
like.
you're like you may be these cult favorites you may have missed, and I scrolled down. I'm like, these sure are fucking cult because I don't know. This. I reckon.
Wait a
I
second.
might have
Whoa,
missed the
whoa,
Fear
whoa,
Effect
whoa,
isn't
whoa,
even out
whoa.
yet.
Wait a second. Totes the Goat looks a lot like
Goat
Crossy Road.
Simulator.
No, it's a lot like Crossy Road.
No.
It's got the same type of art style.
Wayne's
going
new favorite game for the Switch.
I
Totes
might
the
have to
Goat.
check out Totes the Goat. It's got a little.
I just
Cubert
looked
going.
at
Dude,
this
it looks like
fucking Totes the
Cubert.
Goat.
Holy crap.
I just
Oh,
looked at
really?
this Totes the Goat game, and it looks nothing like Crossy Road.
I
It's
mean
Cubert.
the like the like
Where's
this
the
character
road
screen.
and where's the goat crossing the road?
Dude, it's fucking Cubert. It's what it is.
It's
a
Cubert, but in a Crossy Road looking way.
It's Cubert, but it's a goat.
I'll just stick to my Crossy Road then.
Hey, you ready for this autoplay?
I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch it. I'm catching
Catch
it.
'em
I'm
all.
waiting for it to load. Got him. Amid loot box controversy, the ESRB will label games with in-game purchases.
It's better than nothing, but it's
But
fucking
here's-
gambling.
But here's the thing, though. They're marketing in-game purchases for both DLC and loot boxes. Essentially, every game that comes out will have in-game purchases on it, which doesn't really help anything. Because
Like you want to talk about video games like developing bad habits in children? Fucking loot boxes is it.
Yeah.
it's
It's fucking.
gambling.
We're gonna have the next generation after us just gonna be nothing but gamblers.
Dude, how about the YouTube channels that are all only about unboxing loot boxes? That to me is insane that kids will watch someone
CS:GO Lotto
else
scandal.
unbox loot boxes. That is just there's nothing more that boggles my mind.
I mean, I guess if you don't have the money to do it, then you can watch somebody else do it.
Hey,
I don't
man.
know.
The last
I guess
COD game, they showed you in the background all those people
Oh.
playing loot boxes that made you want to buy a loot box. And
Never.
Yeah, how you'd sit there and stand. That's how you earned your paycheck. Was you'd stand there and you'd watch people unbox.
That's such garbage.
Dude, that's like some Orwellian nightmare.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
All right. Well, I mean, they should definitely be like, look, this game contains gambling.
Yeah,
You know?
gambling. That's what the fuck it is. Just say it's gambling.
Yeah. Well, they obviously get paid.
Nobody is even making them stop. It's just
No, the
call it
ESRB,
call it what it is.
ESRB is phoning it in right now with this one.
No, they're
This
getting
is
paid by
unlawful.
someone to look the other way for sure. For
Probably
sure.
EA.
For sure. Maybe. Moving on. Metal Gear Survive dev apologizes for issues, gives free in-game stuff, and it doesn't matter because the game is pure shit and has no right using Metal Gear name.
Well,
It's true.
not only that, but like it has so many in-game purchases.
The problem with it, we know that you have to purchase like a save slots.
Yeah.
I don't even care about that. But the biggest thing that I care about is how every major gaming news place has given this game attention at all. They shouldn't have reviewed it. They shouldn't have fucking did a preview of it. I subscribe to IGN and GameSpot, and they both have like countless amounts of, maybe like 4 or 5 videos on the game, tips and tricks, blah, blah, blah about Metal Gear Survive. Stop it, dude. This game is pure bullshit. What they did to, what's his name? Kojima.
Yeah.
Is just, is a disgrace, and they should be fucking disbarred from any media at all. I couldn't believe that they were covering this game, reviewing it, giving it more than a 0.
Konami should just stick to pachinko machines at this point. Just fuck off, Konami.
I don't know. I don't understand who's buying this game.
Wayne, did you not remember, like, back when we first brought this up, you're like, oh, you're not going to get this one, Loco? Fuck no, I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that shit. And then once it came out, the blatant, the blatant purchase.
You knew there was a problem when the review copies came out and the servers weren't online at all, so they couldn't even review the game.
Yeah.
That's a bad game.
And they still, all these outlets still wrote about it, made videos about it. That is what surprised me the most.
It's for the clicks. That's what that is.
Like GameSpot here has given it a 5 out of 10. It does not deserve a 5 out of 10. From everything that I've heard about this game, all of the controversy around it, deserves maybe a 1 for actually being a playable game. Maybe. Oh, we already talked about this. Detroit Become Human release date confirmed. I'm super excited about this game. Super excited.
The more I see of this game, the more interested I'm actually becoming in it.
I'm not really excited about the cover art though.
What's the cover art?
It's just like half of a dude's face.
Yeah,
you're not into weird. That, dude?
No.
Why not?
No, man. That's because it's lazy. You know what I mean? It's like the cover art of like the dude with his back to you and there's like an explosion happening on the other side of him, or just the dude with his back to you.
Like any Call of Duty cover.
Yeah.
Where it's the dude, the back is to you, gun in hand, he's like this.
Explosion.
You know what I'm saying?
And you just imagine in the background like,
and it's blue and orange. There's blue somewhere and then orange somewhere.
It's the fucking Michael Bay of covers, dude.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
So the game is released will launch worldwide May 25th, which is coming up soon. I'm super pumped. Detroit has been no stranger to controversy throughout its development. The game touches on real-world issues such as terrorism and domestic abuse, and its developer Quantic Dream recently denied allegations of poor studio culture and harassment. Remember we were looking at the trailer for this, and it is super graphic, but that's what I like, dude. Give me some heavy, deep shit to think about. Make me look at my life in a objective and meaningful way, please.
I can't wait. I want Jerry to play this.
Yeah, I know he's hyped for it. But I want to know how long the game is, and I want to know how because I know the whole thing is built upon actions. You can do so many different actions to reach different outcomes. And how does that affect the overall, or is it just scenario based? Because if it's scenario based, it's like kind of cool.
It's a AAA title. I'm guessing you're going to get, like, on a good day, 15 to 18 hours out of it.
Like Mass Effect 3, like,
I think a little
your
more.
actions mean things and then they don't.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I just want it to be a good game, like an enticing game, have some good combat and stuff, and all the story stuff to fill it in.
Like,
it's not going to have combat. It's going to have a lot of dialogue.
I don't need all this is what basically, like, I haven't looked too much into this game. Is it basically like Deus Ex?
It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it.
It feels like it has the dialogue tree similar to like BioWare games.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dialogue. It's like kind of like LA Noire a little bit, where there's a lot of like you're picking up on cues from the players. You know what I'm saying? To decide what you want to do.
There's a lot of evidence around that you can look at that increase your chances of successfully negotiating. Or if you don't want to go that route, you can go like a different route where you go more like guns blazing first.
Yeah.
There's different ways to play, and depending on what like you did before you get to that point, like did you search the room? Did you find out that the dude holding the girl ransom like has issues based around family? That increases like your negotiation because you can get on a personal level with them. So I mean, it's very interesting.
So okay, so we got 8 to 10 hours long. That's what this coming from VG 24/7 article.
For
Detroit Become Human
$60?
is 8 to 10 hours long with a lot of replay value. So I guess you're meant to kind of play through it a few times. I probably will never do that.
If it's
Narrative games, playing through narrative games over is not.
If
my
it's got
thing.
multiple endings, like good multiple endings, and not just like instead of blank, this blank. I mean, like I want.
I'm just saying, I only
choose your
played.
adventure style. Like one decision really veers the game.
I'm just saying, I only played Heavy Rain once.
What
I'm just saying.
was the kid's name? David? Oh,
Jason!
Jason.
Jason!
Just running around the mall screaming his name.
Jason! There was even a button for it. Like you're just mashing the button. He's just like, Jason!
That
Jason!
was like the original press F to pay respects was like press this button to yell Jason.
But yeah, that was like an extremely dialogue and decision based game. Like probably one of the most out there. And it was like really good narrative wise, but I only played it once.
So they're saying that the first scene alone has 6 different outcomes, each with their own consequences. So then I can imagine there's a lot of, you probably got about 20, like you were saying, 20 hours, 30 hours if you play through a few times to like get different outcomes. So I think that's a kind of cool. Most people are going to play it once.
Visual novel game. I don't want to say it's a visual novel game because it's not, but it's reminiscent of like some of the visual novels.
Yeah,
like
I think it's cool though. Like I don't mind that at all. You know, especially like how well this looks. Like they put a lot of time into like graphics and stuff, and I think that's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna lead into the immersion of the story, because I like story narrative driven games and like really diving into the story. So I don't really mind too much of like just driven by narrative. I just 8 to 10 hours. It's kind of short, and I probably won't replay this game. As excited as I was, I'm kind of losing interest already. I'm bored of it already. Moving on. Team behind Skyrim Switch port wants crack at Monster Hunter World.
Fucking Skyrim devs just want to port anything.
They're
just like, give us something to port. We're so goddamn good at it.
This is actually there's actually a team that did the Skyrim Switch port.
Yeah.
They're the team that was responsible for some really bad ports before their current CEO took over.
Give us a shot and we won't let you down, winky face.
Pretty much. And I'm wondering if they're just doing this because they want to get paid to at least attempt it. But I have a feeling nothing you can do is going to be able to get Monster Hunter on the Switch running at a frame rate at a decent resolution.
Dude, I mean,
the Japanese team is definitely going to let some rando fucking guy on Twitter, like, he's just going to convince them. It's like, hey, give us your baby and let us port it over. Like, that shit.
Skyrim Switch port isn't bad. It's pretty good, but it's also Skyrim.
Yeah, it's a fucking old ass game.
Yeah, you can't compare Skyrim to Monster Hunter World.
And then you look at Doom, and Doom had issues. Doom port had massive frame rate issues.
I will say, for what they were able to accomplish with the Doom port, I was impressed.
And that's Doom. For example, really Doom on a medium to low end PC runs beautifully at 60 frames per second, right? So they couldn't achieve that with just crippled graphics, crippled view distance on a Switch. Then imagine Monster Hunter. I don't think they're gonna ever do it, but it'd be cool for them to try. I mean,
Bro, Nintendo
They made so
has
much
had-
money. Let them try.
Capcom will make a Switch Monster Hunter. They will. They're not going to ignore it. It's just not right now.
It's gonna be like the DS, and I won't want to play it.
Nintendo has legit had like ultimate control over Monster Hunter for like a goddamn decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
They will be okay. Like
Yeah.
they will survive. Fucking, I mean, they might port it over eventually, but if not, fuck them.
Fuck them.
I don't know why they haven't ported Double Cross over to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why.
That decision makes no sense.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Tiny USB adapter lets you use a PS4 controller with a Nintendo Switch. Is this the Cronus device?
It's the 8-bit Do
Oh, I don't have
USB
that.
adapter. They're known for their
I wonder if I can use the
controllers.
Cronus.
They do a bunch of controllers. Like they have a SNES one that has analog sticks, and they do a lot of Bluetooth. So this is pretty cool the way that they've been able to get a PS4 controller working.
Is it 8-bit Do or 8-bito?
I don't know. I say 8-bit Do.
I'd say 8-bit Do.
I mean, it looks like 8-bit Do.
Bit Do.
You know what I'm saying?
That
Like
bit
Nintendo.
do. What
like
that bit do?
What that bit do?
What that bit do, girl?
But I mean, like, this is good for like the people who I know them who are like they own the PS4 and the Switch is their companion console. Instead of shelling out the $70 for another controller, essentially the Pro controller,
It's worth it.
They can just this costs this adapter $20.
Listen,
bam,
if you're
PS4
listening and you're
controller,
considering this, don't do it. Get the Pro controller. It's an awesome fucking controller.
it is a real. I really do like the Pro controller.
It's the marriage. It's a marriage between the PS4 controller and the Xbox One controller, but like it just feels better, dude. It feels. I want to use the Nintendo Switch controller on everything. To be honest, I have two now.
It's got good battery life too.
Yeah,
Better
got great
battery
battery
life than the PS4 controller.
Yeah. Oh my god, much better.
Nothing beats I'm gonna be honest. Nothing beats the life of the Wii U Pro controller with its like. God, it feels like 80 hours on that thing.
Oof.
Like I charge it once, and I maybe charge it once like every couple months.
Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition adds a big new scene to the final act.
Fuck this game,
Yeah.
dude. Okay, don't get me wrong here. I liked Final Fantasy 15. And
You beat it in like a day.
Yeah, I beat it quickly. Here's the reason why I beat it quickly. With all of the patches that have come out, with all of the stuff that's come out with the DLC, all the added scenes and all the reworked chapters, the game I bought and played day one is not the same game that's out right now.
Yeah.
I got gypped. And if I want to play these new scenes and these new boss battles and all that,
Pay.
I have to pay another $15 to upgrade to the Royal Edition because it's not included in the Season Pass DLC.
Yeah.
Nor is the new Season Pass coming up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
It's such a cash grab because of how long this game spent in development hell. They have to make all that money back, and this is what they're doing.
They're coming out with yet another season pass.
They're coming out with Episode Arden, which is not included with a Season Pass. I don't know if it's a new season.
See, that's the point of a season pass is to include everything that you release.
That's the problem, though, is they now consider these season 1,
two.
season 2. It's just all a cash
Such
grab.
bullshit. It's only been a year since the game was released, right?
I really feel like the Royal Edition, the $15 extra, I feel like that should have been included with either the Season Pass or the people that spent the money day one to get an inferior product to what is out now. That should have been a free upgrade.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's a cash grab and a half by Square Enix.
I still want to go
Over
beat
the
it.
goddamn
I still haven't played through it. I want to go beat it, but
Final
Fantasy is such a hard game to get back into when you haven't played it. You know what I'm saying?
At this point, with all the patches, you might as well just restart.
I think I will. I mean, at this point, it's been a year.
At about the same time.
It's been about a year since I played. I don't even fucking remember what's going on. All right, moving on to our last story. Actually, we're gonna have a couple more stories. I'm gonna put some of these tech stories in there because they're pretty funny. PlayStation Plus games: Bloodborne, Ratchet and Clank, March 2, 2019. No more Vita or PS3 Plus games. Yeah, good. No more PS3 fucking games. All right, so we got Ratchet and Clank and Bloodborne free with PS Plus, which is so dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is one of the best free game lineups I think they've offered in a long time. Bloodborne is a really good game. I've never played it. I never played Dark Souls 3. I now am getting both of them. I will be playing both of them.
Yeah, play Bloodborne
Yeah.
first, and then play
Yeah,
Dark Souls 3.
Play Bloodborne. Yeah,
I've heard Bloodborne is a lot faster.
it's a lot faster, but
I
I
wouldn't
don't
say
know
a
that
lot faster, but it is faster.
it is because like your the mechanics of the PvE in Bloodborne, it like encourages you to play aggressively. Like
Okay.
you're dodging and
So
like
it's
if
pushed
you
down.
like one of the mechanics is like if you get hit before your bar disappears, you can attack, and if you attack your enemy, you get some health back. So it encourages like aggressive gameplay. You still got to be smart in a Dark Souls sense, like you got to be careful, but it does encourage like aggression.
Where like Dark Souls, I feel like from what I've seen, encourages a lot of like parrying.
Yeah,
dodging.
parrying and defense. Like your first Dark Souls playthrough is usually like a fucking spear and a shield.
And then you're just circling around your enemy, figuring out every move that he possibly has. And
Where to
then after
punish.
that, then you can go attack because now you know, okay, after he throws this overhand, he's going to do 2 of these swings. So I got to watch out for those. This one attack is a one-hit kill, so I got to make sure I run away from that.
Good old pattern recognition.
Yeah.
It's great, though. It's so great, dude.
That's what made Cuphead fantastic, was learning the boss's patterns.
Yeah, it's so great. And Ratchet & Clank, I don't know. I liked it when I was a kid. I fucking haven't played this version.
It's free.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it. It's free. I'll play it. I like those Ratchet & Clank.
There's also Legend of K, Mighty Number 9, Claire, Bombing Busters.
I was about to say, and these other games I don't give a shit about.
Mighty Number 9, you couldn't pay me to play that game.
Yeah.
Like an anime nerd on prom night.
All right, before we get out of here, I want to bring you some tech stories up. This is not really a tech story, but Martin Shkreli, we talked about on my last tech show. He's forfeiting his $7.36 million in assets, and that includes his Picasso painting and his
Wu-Tang
legendary
album.
Wu-Tang album.
The Wu-Tang album that can't be unleashed. Like,
he played it. He did play it on his live stream. I did get to listen to it.
Oh my God.
Right before he went to jail. That's, dude, government stealing your shit is never cool, man. I don't care what this guy did. At least like have him like give it to his family or something, but they're like, we're taking that shit. We need the money. That's a lot of money he's got to hand over. No, don't defraud Wall Street.
I'd feel bad if he wasn't, a giant douche canoe.
Yeah. I feel a little bad.
Don't.
He'll be all right. He's loaded. He's got much more than 7.36 million. Coinbase is getting sued for insider trading. Coinbase is like the PayPal of cryptocurrency, holds Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, which are the top 4 major cryptos. And the reason is, in recent weeks, Coinbase has been hit with 3 federal lawsuits alleging various types of wrongdoing, ranging from security negligence to wrongfully keeping Bitcoins and insider trading during last year's Bitcoin Cash fork. What happened, it forked. They were supposed to not fork, and then they said they're going to fork, and then it did fork. They covered the fork, and they made a lot of profit doing so. Not technically illegal because it's in the crypto market, but they are being sued in a federal lawsuit because of that, which is pretty crazy now that the government is getting into cryptocurrencies.
I mean, it was a matter of time.
Yeah. I mean, what they did was pretty shady. Was it insider trading? In traditional sense, no, because it's not a stock, right? It's just not a stock. But in a hypothetical sense, I guess it is, because it technically is a stock. They do treat it as such. So, and they did, make a shitload of money doing that. I thought it was a cool move that they did. As if you're a company owner, I mean, for sure you're going to do that if there's no laws against it. But I guess they're going to be having to claim their defense. We don't need to talk about this story. The Reddit interference. We'll talk about this, and then this will be the last story. So, fucking CNET.
This is CNET, and here
you fucking autoplay bullshit. Reddit Russian propaganda spread on our site before 2016 election. This site removed hundreds of suspect accounts and found that thousands of Redditors unwittingly spread links from just one source of propaganda. Reddit CEO Steve Huffman acknowledged Monday that accounts suspected to be Russian in origin spread misinformation on the popular news sharing and discussion site. We all know the Donald, one of the alt-right breeding grounds, has been in contact with a lot of this. What I found interesting about this article too is that Reddit is the number 4th most popular site in the United States. I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize Reddit was that big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, Reddit is huge.
Subreddits there are?
I didn't realize it was that big, 4th in the United States. I mean, you're beating out a lot of big websites, but it kind of makes sense now that I think about it. It is the homepage of the internet.
It is the more popular 4chan.
Yeah, a lot more popular. We have found, so this is Steve Huffman. We have found and removed a few hundred accounts, and of course, every account we find expands our search a little more. He wrote in a post on Reddit. So if you look at that post, you can see Spez's account here. This was 6 hours ago. In the past couple of weeks, Reddit has been mentioned as one of the platforms used to promote Russian propaganda. As it's an ongoing investigation, we have been relatively quiet on the topic publicly, which I know can be frustrating. While transparency is important, we also want to be careful to not tip our hand too much while we are investigating. We take the integrity of Reddit extremely seriously, both as the stewards of our site and as Americans. Given the recent news, we like to share some of what it learned. When it comes to Russian influence on Reddit, there are 3 broad areas to discuss: ads, direct propaganda from Russians, indirect propaganda promoted by our users. On the first topic, ads, there's not much to share. As for direct propaganda, that is, content from accounts we suspect are Russian origin or content linking directly to known propaganda domains, we are doing our best to identify and remove. We have found and removed a few hundred accounts, and of course, every account we find expands our search a little bit more. Final case, indirect propaganda is the most complex. For every example, the Twitter account @10_GOP is now known to be a Russian agent. His tweets were amplified by thousands of Reddit users, and sadly, from everything we can tell, these users are mostly American and appear to be unwittingly promoting Russian propaganda. I believe the biggest risk we face as Americans is our own ability to discern reality from nonsense, and this is a burden we all bear. This is super duper interesting. So imagine you're a CEO of the 4th biggest website in the United States. It's a social media platform, and all of a sudden you hear that a foreign agency was using your platform to spread propaganda, infecting the minds of your users, further amplifying their message. Is that your problem to fix? Is that your problem to solve? One.
I mean, no.
You don't think so?
I mean,
I agree with you.
You're really getting into like invading your users' like privacy.
No, I agree with you. I don't think it's his problem.
No, I don't think it's his problem either, because he's literally just giving the internet a platform to put what they want onto it, and what you have is dumbass people like people on the Donald that
aren't most of the subreddits self-regulated anyway?
Yeah, we're not just talking about the Donald, though. We are talking about politics, r/politics as well, which is a heavily liberal.
Most of the subreddits are, for the most part, self-regulated.
Yeah, so it's not his problem.
It's his problem. All he did was create a platform and say, "Hey, you're the users. Go do what you want to do," and the community from there takes over.
Yeah, they're basically like, don't do anything, overtly illegal,
right?
And then have fun with it.
And I think that is kind of the interesting part about it, because one, he's kind of taking it upon himself and his company's mission to do away with. I mean, it makes sense. Okay, let's find these Russian accounts, this propaganda accounts, and remove them. But why? You know what I mean? If they're Russian propaganda accounts, okay, maybe mark them as such or something, but removing them doesn't really solve the issue. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. It's not like it's not like Reddit isn't already overrun by propaganda from other stuff, such as advertisers. That's essentially propaganda, getting people to buy their products. How many times do we see something on the front page and it's of a product, but it's not said directly that it's like an advertisement? That's essentially a form of propaganda.
That's content. That's what do they call it?
Hail corporate. That's the one subreddit that kind of points it all out.
But it's like there's a word to describe it. I'm trying to remember what it was. It's like sponsored content.
Yeah,
Sponsored
sponsored
content.
posts and sponsored
Yeah,
content.
It's
Yeah.
just fucking advertisements. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
It's kind of like if a company would pay, like if you have an account that has tons and tons of karma and you obviously know how to make good posts, maybe a company would pay you to be like, hey, maybe next time you take this funny picture, you have like a Coke bottle in the background.
Right.
You know, just shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
then essentially that's
Been around. That's always been around.
yeah.
Product placement.
And now when
Yeah.
it's a Russian, obviously a kind of an enemy of the state, I can see how that kind of makes things a little bit iffy. But essentially,
It's a terrible thing. It's a bad thing. I don't think that Russian agents should be able to spread propaganda on Reddit. But I mean, I also don't think that it's the CEO of Reddit's fault that it happened.
right?
And Reddit's not a American only institution. It's the internet. It's global.
Yeah,
Like
and
you know what to expect when you go on Reddit. And if you want to believe everything you read on the internet, that's your damn fault.
And I think that's his point. It's like that's the biggest problem we face right now is people don't know our own country doesn't know what is true and what is false.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was going to say Americans, like the majority of Americans, well, I mean, Donald Trump got elected, so this is proof too. Majority of the Americans lacked critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
That's just what it comes down to.
We've gotten completely dumber.
Yeah.
So
We let our technology do everything for us. We didn't have to think anymore.
So how do you how does this problem become fixed? How do we essentially create a place where true discussion can be had, like actual true discussion without any kind of propaganda, without any type of fake information? Yeah, and I think that is the fact that you can't have that in today's age where the internet and social media has become so prevalent that it's sort of pretty fucking insane,
Yeah,
like, dude, we're a free country, and that means you're free to be dumb.
It's like the internet is made for propaganda. It's a propaganda machine. You know what I mean? It's like television was propaganda when our parents were growing up and our grandparents were growing up.
Newspapers before the radio, before that, newspapers before that.
Yeah, like go into the moving pictures and see how the boys are doing at war. That kind of shit. I mean, there's just always going to be propaganda in different forms, and the internet just makes it extremely easy because
it's
everybody has the internet. Yeah,
instant information.
Yeah, so
it kind of makes you think though, like what are you reading is actually true information? It's difficult because like someone like my parents, right? They're a little bit older. They're not very technically savvy. They are very easily susceptible to stuff like this.
Yeah, because they're used to the news and they're like, well, this is a news article. And you're like, no, it's InfoWars. Don't fucking get it.
But I think a lot of the problem, not a lot of problem, but like what's going to happen is we're in a really tough time where because of medical advancements and things like that, people live longer and technology is advancing farther than they can understand. And they still have some kind of power because they still have the power to vote. They still have the power to do this. I'm not saying take that away from them because you can't. That's a dictatorship. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is as the youth who understands this what the internet really is, as they continue to grow, maybe we see a change. But right now we're kind of in the dark ages. You're going to have to suffer through this.
Well, it's like I think the thing too is like, say Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, all these big tech giants, Google, they start saying, okay, this is a valid source of information, WashingtonPost.com, right? That gives it a little badge saying this is a valid source of information. If you do that enough times, well, essentially what you're doing is creating a paradox where people are going to say, okay, whatever they say is verified. well, is obviously not verified because I don't trust these sources, right? So essentially anything that's unverified, they're going to believe, and vice versa. And I don't know how that problem can be fixed in any way. I see it getting completely worse. I don't see it ever getting fixed.
No, I don't either.
It's just gonna keep
if it does
escalating.
get fixed, it's gonna get a hell of a lot worse before it does.
Yeah,
it's not going to get fixed.
Unless the only way you could fix it is essentially, creating some type of like
accountability. That's the only way, and then the accountability would take away your anonymity.
Right. And it would, or like saying if you propagate fake news, if you sell fake news, then there's some type of penalty involved. Well, that's free speech infringement.
You could be considered libelous.
Yeah.
That's the only way that they could actually do that, and that would take away your anonymity and also infringe on your free speech. So, like I said, nothing.
Or just be skeptical of literally everything you read.
And that should be how you are anyway.
Yeah, but people are too lazy to think for themselves. They go, I saw this on the internet. It's got to be true.
Yeah, you should literally be skeptical of everything.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton is obviously running some kind of weird child slave thing in a pizza shop, and how anyone even believed that for a second is just mind-boggling.
I don't know. And you know what's another great thing? The whole crisis actor shit. That is hilarious. But
it's not really that funny. It's pretty fucked up.
It's fucked up and sad.
It's so crazy that people that I think I said this on my other podcast, but I think a big issue right now in America is that there are so many Americans that just have never left their home. They've never left their hometown. They've never seen the world. They've never interacted with people outside of their community. You know what I'm saying? They just sit at home. They work at the fucking Wawa around the corner, or they work at the Walmart. They just don't leave their little bubble. And when you have millions of people who do that, essentially the internet allows them to connect to other people like that. And you create, these gigantic conspiracies like the earth is flat, or Sandy Hook was a staged attack by crisis actors.
There was the whole thing about the one guy was like when what's his name, Marco Rubio was having the the whole like town hall, and then like the one guy came out and he was like, what would you do if your child was being disrespected, like they were disrespecting Marco Rubio? And I'm like, no, he's an elected official that needs to be held accountable by his constituents. They're doing their due diligence as his constituents to question him. We should not respect our elected officials. We should hold them to the standard at all times.
Yeah.
It's a problem with I hate to do it, but man, fuck the baby boomers. They're ruining this country.
I know. I mean, if you look at a lot of the bad policy that generation has provided, it's shocking. Like you look at like pay for pay universities, which destroy the education system in the United States. You look at corporations
are people.
Dude,
yeah, I forget exactly what act that is.
They partied hard. They did all the drugs. They rocked out all the rock and roll against their predecessors, and then they realized that was going to happen to them. They cracked down. No fun. No, we need to stop this.
Yeah. They also started a war that they lost at.
And then it became, he was all the toys wins.
It's pretty crazy, but I think in the end, though, we kind of lose sight of that. Like, we still are in the safest time in history ever. The economy is doing pretty damn well. The technologies that we have are so far advanced. I mean, we just fucking shot a goddamn electronic car into orbit. Like, it's easy to kind of lose sight of like how fast things are also moving. I mean, robotics are pretty soon going to take a lot of people's jobs. Dude, that's going to be a big issue.
We get lost.
Marijuana is going to be legal pretty soon everywhere in the entire fucking world, which is going to take away a lot of,
a lot of good, honest drug dealer money.
It's going to empty a lot of those prisons where they're privatized.
It's going to empty a lot of prisons, but it's also going to, take care of a lot of mental health issues. A lot of people with mental health, they smoke a little weed and they're going to be fine.
And then some people will discover that they have mental health issues when they smoke weed and they get paranoid and almost go schizophrenic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think I don't know, it's kind of like a weird time in history right now, but it's kind of fun too. Like this Russian operative story has been so fun to watch unfold, like through Facebook, and then the whole infiltration of the government, and it's insane, man. It's insane. And that was today's episode of the No Life Gaming Show. Remember, no tech show this Friday. And we are moving the tech show from Friday to Wednesday. So Tuesday this will come out. I might even push it back on Monday because I think if I just upload it right after we do it, then I won't say Tuesday and then upload it on Wednesday.
Yeah, I know, right?
So we'll see. We just know that you might be getting podcasts a little earlier. And then also follow us on our website, and we got more content coming to you guys. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.